But last night, I swear I saw him standing in my hallway, dripping wet and whispering my name. I used to laugh at ghost stories. My dad was the same way, logical, grounded, a man of science. He was a firefighter, a local hero, and when he died during a rescue in a river flood, the town mourned. The city noise was louder, my dreams more vivid. I started waking up at 3:17 a.m. every night with a cold sweat and the image of water in my room. My mom had moved in with my sister, but the old family house was still standing, vacant, and oddly preserved. They asked me to check on it to make sure the pipes hadn't frozen. I did too. He was my anchor, my rational compass. After his funeral, I stayed in his house for a few months to sort out his belongings and get my head straight. Eventually, I moved back to the city and tried to rebuild, but nothing ever felt the same. I stopped at the fireplace mantel where an old photo of Dad in his uniform stared back at me. Just the sound of dripping. I got up and opened the door. It had been 6 years. No one had lived here since. I smiled, but then I noticed something strange. The frame next to it was missing. It used to be a picture of the two of us fishing, drenched and laughing, like someone had just gotten out of it. I clicked the flashlight on. It all escalated last winter when I returned to my hometown for the first time in years, barefoot, leading away from my door and into Dan's room. It was snowing heavily the day I arrived. Everything was blanketed in silence. The air stung my skin, the kind of cold that cuts deeper than just temperature. When I stepped inside, the house was exactly how we left it, picture frame still on the walls, the faint smell of his cologne somehow still lingering upstairs. I left at dawn and told myself I'd imagine it that the water must be come from the pipes, and the words were probably always there. I turned the heat on and walked through the room slowly. When I got there, the faucet was running full blast. In the fogged-up mirror above the sink, someone had written, or the voice I thought I heard whispered just before I fell asleep again. "You left me." The wind howled and the house creaked and moaned like it was remembering us. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps on the floorboards outside my room. Not creaking dash walking dot slow dot heavy. Was on my couch when everything suddenly shut off, lights, fridge, even my phone lost signal. A heavy silence filled the room like the air had thickened. I figured Mom must have taken it. That night, I stayed in my old room upstairs. I sat up. Hello wet, leading down the hallway, out the front door. No answer. There were wet footprints on the wooden hallway floor. And now, last night, it was right outside my bedroom door. I froze. Grabbing the flashlight on my nightstand, I followed the trail. The hallway was ice cold. I swear I could see my breath. His door was ajar. I pushed it open. The room was dark, but on the far side, the rocking chair, the one he used to sit in every night, was moving. Just slightly, nothing. But here's the thing, they never found Dad's body. The river pulled him under and he vanished, no trace. Until I looked at the corner, a small pool of water, clear, unmoving, and right above it, scratched into the wallpaper, were the words, "I didn't drown." I backed out of the room slowly, heart hammering. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, but I couldn't shake the image of those footprints. I tried to forget it. I really did. But 2 weeks ago, back in my apartment, the power went out. Then, from my bathroom, I heard the faucet turn on. I walked over half angry, half freaked out. I'm still waiting. I didn't sleep that night either. And now, every night, the dripping returns. Always around 3:17 a.m. It started in the bathroom, then in the kitchen, but this time it wasn't just dripping, there was breathing, heavy, slow breathing. I didn't move. I just stared at the door, waiting for it to open. It didn't, but in the morning, I found footprints and the door was unlocked. My therapist says I'm processing grief. My sister says I need to let go. Maybe he didn't drown. Maybe he's still out there, or maybe something else came back in his place. Whatever it is, it's not finished with me yet.